This Christmas burst focuses on the character of Scrooge and how Dickens presents his character in the first chapter. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out generous fire. Secret and self-contained and solitary as an oyster. The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nose, shrivelled his cheek, stiffened his gait, made his eyes red, his thin lips blue, and spoke out shrewdly in his grating voice. In this extract we see three key quotations that will support you with your next piece of work. The first, oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone. First, we should break it down and make sure we've got technical language. So we see oh, which is an exclamation, and it's the narrator talking to us. We see the adjective tight-fisted, and we see the metaphor of the grindstone. If we break the quotation down a bit further, red is our most basic. The narrator seems shocked by Scrooge's behaviour. It suggests that he forces his workers to work too hard. If we wanted to add to that, we'd look at some technical language and we'd break down the quotation a bit further. The adjective tight-fisted suggests he holds on to his money tightly. The metaphor of the grindstone refers to his workers. The grindstone has connotations of wearing away at people until they are nothing. The gold pushes it a little bit further. Here, Dickens presents Scrooge as possessive and unwilling to see other people as human. He treats them as though they are something to be worked, like a piece of wood or a piece of metal, rather than a person. Our second quotation, Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. And here we should look at the exclamation mark, at the verb squeezing, at the adjective covetous, and at the noun sinner. The phrase suggests that Scrooge holds on to his money. The exclamation mark suggests the narrator is shocked. The verb squeezing suggests he will not let go of his money. It has connotations of holding on very tightly. This is amplified by the adjective covetous, meaning that he wants other people's money. The idea of a sinner implies he's actively going against God's rules. It's a choice. It's something that Scrooge enjoys. The cold within him froze his old features and shrivelled his cheek. In our final quotation we see the noun cold, the preposition within, the verb froze and the verb shrivelled. Scrooge is described as a cold person. This suggests he's not nice and doesn't care about other people. It is a metaphor. The preposition within makes the cold seem as though it's emotional, not physical. Dickens pushes the idea that the cold is inside him, it's with him. It's clearly affecting him because the verb froze implies his lack of care is changing him and making him harder, like a piece of ice. He no longer cares for others. The verb shrivelled suggests that Dickens sees not caring as reducing Scrooge, making him less human. Dickens is quite critical of his character. He's pointing out to his reader that this is not the way to behave. Scrooge is the exact opposite of a role model. He is a warning character.